Today I'm going to try to explain the behavior of Oobleck on a speaker. Oobleck is a suspension of cornstarch and water that can behave like a solid or a liquid, depending on how much pressure you apply. For those of you who has been watching The Big Bang Theory would probably remember this episode.
Check it out, it's just cornstarch and water. They make up a non-Newtonian fluid, which is liquid, but solid under the percussive action of the speaker.
Just as Sheldon said, the cornstarch and water make up a non-Newtonian fluid, which is liquid, but solid under the percussive action of the speaker. It looks pretty cool, but the question is, why is that? To answer this question, we first need to know the concept of viscosity. Viscosity is the measure of a fluid's resistance to flow. For instance, honey is much more viscous than water, and oil is much more viscous than milk. To give you a rough idea of what low and high viscosity fluids look like, let's head to the kitchen. Here I put two big drops on the plate. One is milk and the other is oil, as labeled. Now I tilt the plate for a small angle. We can see that the oil flows much slower than the milk. What makes them flow differently? Viscosity, of course. Since the oil flows slower than milk, we can say that oil is better resisting flow than milk is. So oil is more viscous than milk. How can we understand it in the molecule level? For low viscosity fluid, milk in our case, there are fewer bonds between the molecules, so it can flow freely. But for relatively high viscosity fluids, like oil in our case, there are more bonds between the molecules, and thus more reluctant to flow. But this is not the whole story. You may ask, can we change the viscosity? The answer is yes. Here are two big drops of oil, but one is heated with microwave oven and thus in higher temperature. Let's do the experiment again. We can see the heated oil flow faster than the unheated one. So we get the conclusion that fluid viscosity tends to decrease as its temperature increases. Now we are ready to answer the question raised at the beginning. The cornstarch and water make up what we call non-Newtonian fluid. Don't be scared by the name. We have seen a lot of non-Newtonian fluids in our daily life, such as ketchup, yogurt, jam, and cheese. Non-Newtonian fluid has the property that its viscosity depends on the stress or force applied to it. So we can change the viscosity of the fluid by force, just like temperature can change the viscosity of oil. So when sitting still, the cornstarch and the water behave just like a liquid. When the fluid is being rapidly compressed by a percussive force from the speaker, the viscosity increases and the fluid becomes hardened and behave like a solid.